What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out some brand new Link monsters from the Link Frames 2, and it looks like Link Frames 2 is finally starting to look as spicy as the first one. You guys know that a lot of the cards from the original Link Frames pack were incredibly powerful. I want to say that that pack as a whole was just fucking broken. It gave us some of the strongest Link monsters that have ever been created, and if you probably did a top 5 list of like all the Link monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh, chances are at least 3 of the 5 would be from Link Frames Pack 2. Maybe you'd have Firewall and something like Nightmare Goblin, but you definitely have like Isolde and, Crystron, Needle Fiber, other cards of that level, Heavy Metaphors, Electromite. So I think that these cards are starting to live up to that ridiculous standard that the Link Frames Pack 1, kind of created. And we have a couple of Link monsters for some fan favorite archetypes. Well, one of them for sure I want to say is a fan favorite. I knew that this Link monster was eventually going to come. The other one was a little unexpected, but I think they're both incredibly impressive. We got Magical Musketeers getting a Link monster, which is excellent. And then we got Six Samurai. And let's be real, we all knew that Six Samurai, just like Lightsworn, just like DDD, like it was only a matter of time until Konami gave us a Six Samurai Link monster. I still think with like Black Wings it's going to happen because you're talking about some of the most popular archetypes of all time. Six Samurai gets support in every single era of Yu-Gi-Oh! I wonder if people noticed that by now, but yeah, Samurai will always continue to get support because it's just a popular archetype. So let's go ahead and start with the Magical Musketeer Link monster that was, I think, surprisingly good. I wasn't really sure that Magical Musketeers as an archetype needed a Link monster, but this definitely fixes one of the big issues with the deck, and it's really interesting. Just a quick side note, if you guys remember that poll that I talked about that Konami hosted on the Japanese site, a lot of the archetypes that they put on there that did not win, because Speedroid for some reason ended up winning, a lot of those archetypes are still getting Link monsters anyways. Be Atlas, Harpy Lady, Dragoonity, now Magical Musketeers. So I think Konami looked at the poll and they were like, hey, people like these archetypes, let's just go ahead and give them Link monsters anyway. So first up, we got the Magical Musketeer Link monster. This is Magical Musketeer Max. It is a Link 1 light attribute monster. It's a fiend type and it has 1000 attack. It points down towards you, so it's just straight down bottom. And the materials to summon it are 1 level 8 or lower Magical Musketeer monsters. So basically everything in the entire archetype. And just as a side note, I think the artwork on this card looks absolutely fantastic. It looks amazing, man. It looks like something out of an anime or like a Devil May Cry boss or something like that. Now it says you can only use this card's first effect as a hard once per turn. It says first effect, if this card is link summoned, you can activate one of these effects. So you either get to add magical musket spells or traps with different names from your deck to your hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls, or you can special summon any number of magical musketeer monsters with different names from your deck up to the number of spells and traps your opponent controls. Effect number 2, during either player's turn, you can activate magical musket spells and traps from your hand. So I personally think that Magical Musketeer Max is an absolutely excellent card. I feel like it's just what the Doctor ordered because it kind of addresses one of the biggest problems that I've had with Magical Musketeers historically as an archetype, and really one of their biggest Achilles heel, and that is going second against, well, basically every kind of top deck in Yu-Gi-Oh. You know that it's a pretty good front running deck. Like if you open up with Ties of the Brethren plus Casper, I mean, that's like your most optimal opening because you summon your Casper, you activate Ties, you'll get 2 monsters off of Ties, that's a +1, and then you +1 off Casper, you get the Search when you activate it in the same column. So you're pretty much just, front running and off to the races at that point. But when you have to go second against a deck like, Altergeist or True Draco, God forbid something like Sky Strikers, and Sky Strikers, you're going to have to deal with a Shizuku plus set 5 back row. Against Altergeist or True Draco, you're dealing with probably about set 3. Same thing goes with maybe Paleozoic, or if you're dealing with like Thunder Dragons, you know right there that you're probably going to be having to face down, a Colossalus plus like another big Titan or something like that. Like those are very difficult boards when the deck can't really generate offense. If you're playing against Altergeist now, or, even something like Sky Strikers, okay, you can take literally your worst monster in your hand, which I love that because you're not really sacrificing anything good. A lot of the Magical Musketeer monsters aren't really all that good except Casper. So the fact that you can take your worst ones, you can kind of summon it into your opponent's back row, Let's say you're playing Sky Strikers, for instance. They try to activate Widow Anchor. You're like, fine, you activate the Dark Bribe one from your hand. You negate that. Now you're getting like 4 or 5 monsters from your deck on the field. Those monsters can facilitate further link plays. Those monsters can be used for XC summons. You're going plus, you're generating offense. Those monsters can attack at that point. You can do whatever you want. When it comes to the other effect, if your opponent has multiple monsters on the field, being able to plus a bunch and get a whole bunch of your spells and traps, like that's always going to be good, because that's basically what the deck is built upon, is constantly activating those spells and traps. And considering that all the good spells and traps in Magical Musketeers are hard once per turns, the fact that you can get a bunch of them in one turn is excellent. So I think that this card is amazing. Magical Musketeers will probably run 3 of this, in my opinion, because I don't think it's a card that's going to last that long on the field, and I think that it's a card that when you link summon it, it's basically done its job. But I really like the fact that the monsters that come out, you can do whatever the hell you want with them. You can link summon with them further, you can attack, you can XC summon, and pretty much anything under the sun. This is an amazing card, and really, as I said earlier, I think that it helps Magical Musketeers go second a lot easier. Now, some people have said online, you can mix in Black Garden, do some cheese plays going first, which I guess that would allow you, by the time you make this, your opponent would have like 3 monsters on the field. You'd be able to get like, 3 searches. That'd be kind of cool. But you got to be careful with cheese stuff like that, because you're giving your opponent tokens, and, giving your opponent tokens in Master Rule 4 is, yeah, man, that can be a little dangerous. So I think this card is great, and it'll definitely help the archetype. Next up, we got a 6 Samurai Link monster. All right, we knew this was coming. As I said earlier, 6 Samurai is without a doubt one of the most popular archetypes of all time. If you did a poll, worldwide on like the most popular archetypes, Samurai would probably finish top 3 alongside like Lightsworn and maybe Black Wings or Elemental Hero, something like that. And this card was definitely like, it was only a matter of time before 6 Samurai got a Link monster. Now, I will say this, I did not expect it to be this powerful. I kind of feel like this is a card that could easily make 6 Samurai meta, and honestly, this card is a little scary to me. Like, I don't know if they should have made it this powerful, but let's go ahead and break it down. This is Great General of the 6 Samurai. It's a Link 2 Earth Warrior monster. We expected all of that. I guess the attribute, maybe it could have been dark or something like that. I think the legendary 6 Samurai Xian, the synchro monster, is dark. It is 1000 attack, and it points bottom left and bottom right, which is only the best when it comes to Link 2s. Now, it requires 2 warrior monsters, including a 6 Samurai monster, so you do have to use at least 1 Samurai monster, but as a lot of people have pointed out, Isolde can just kind of summon this, because you can use Isolde, you can summon one of your 6 Samurais from your deck, and boom, you can instantly go into that. So yeah, Konami, you really need to get on that whole banning Isolde type thing. Anyways, the first effect is a hard once per turn. That effect says, if this card is link summoned, you can discard 1 card. Add 1 card whose effect can place Bushido counters from your deck to your hand. Effect number 2, each time a 6 Samurai monster or monsters is normal/special summon to a zone this card points to, place 1 Bushido counter on this card. Oh man, even more ways to get Bushido counters. Effect number 3, this card gains 100 attack for each Bushido counter on cards on your field. All right, let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. This card can fucking search Gateway, which oh my goodness, man. I mean, I think it's one thing to have like Gateway at 3 in the OCG, and if you guys don't know, if you do open up with Gateway and 6 Samurai, a lot of times you can actually pull off either number 86 plays incredibly easily, or you can pull off like, an extra link or damn near close to an extra link, especially with something like Isolde. But 6 Samurais are a deck that can link spam incredibly easily, and now that they have a way to actually search Gateway out, I feel like that is incredibly scary, especially because as long as they have like one type of extender, with 6 Samurai have so many different extenders, everything from Monster Reborn to Soul Charge, etc., etc., they will be able to continue their plays and potentially keep on link summoning. And one crazy thing about this card is the fact that it holds Bushido counters itself. If you guys don't know, Gateway of the 6 is a card that can use Bushido counters from anywhere on the field, not just Gateway itself. So you can use your counters from this card, you can use them from Sheen's Dojo. Another thing that's pretty crazy about this card is the fact that its attack value is directly tied to the amount of Bushido counters that you have in the field. Keep in mind, because of cards like red and blue in the Six Samurai deck, there are ways of infinitely producing counters for your Gateway of the Six, and if you can produce counters infinitely, guess what? You can basically gain infinite attack. So even if you're going second, you can basically make this guy like 20,000 attack. It's gonna take some time because you're gonna have to do some very repetitive plays, but at that point, you can just have this card one-shot your opponent through any monster on their field, and you won't even need to go through, you know, all the extra link and, you know, basically have that be the win condition. So I think that this card is actually just disgusting on multiple levels. And the fact that you can go straight from my sold into this card is fucking scary to me. So whatever you guys think, you leave that in the comment section below. Are you guys happy to see these new link monsters? Are you gonna play these archetypes now? Overall, what are you guys' thoughts? Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos and check out these other videos I know you'll enjoy.